Baldur's Gate 3 is a fantasy role-playing game, and you know what that means. There is loads of magic. There are spells for every occasion, whether you are unleashing devastating attacks, healing allies, or manipulating the battlefield to your advantage. Magic plays an important role in your quest to survive. But do we really need it? Meet Evander. This old man reminds me of someone. If you didn't know already, he is the father of Evan and Evelyn.
On this eve, Skeleritus gazes upon perfection.
Evander is old school and believes physical strength is all that we need to achieve success. Can we complete the game without magic? Let's find out. Now for the rules of the challenge. We'll be on Tactician difficulty. Just like Evan, we are a Dark Urge. There can be no spells. This includes tadpole abilities as well. Also, there'll be no consumables with magical properties such as scrolls, potions, elixirs, etc, etc, etc. Lastly, we will only use one of each class. Act 1. Strength in Numbers. We begin our journey by recruiting as many companions as we can. Up first is the most useless person for this challenge, the Wizard Gale. We are then ambushed by Astarion, and he is no match for the strength of Evander. But unlike Gale, he might potentially have some use in this challenge. Up next is Lae'zel, and I think I know love at first sight when I see it.
You've but one chance. Join me or die.
We then make our way to the Emerald Grove. This is where we meet the Blade of Frontiers, known as Will. He's into both forms of swordplay, which could be useful for Evander, I suppose. Also in the Grove is Shadowheart, and her sassiness is essential to any run, so let's get her in the team. We then leave the Grove and encounter such a cute squirrel. That felt like deja vu. Anyway, we proceed to the Blighted Village and pick up the Haste Helm. A bit further up the road, we reach Joaquin's Rest, and as the hero of the story, it is our duty to save the people inside. Just kidding, we only save Floric for our own personal gain. You should be starting to realize now that Evander's motives run in the family. We obtain the Jolt Shooter bow, which will be useful for a very long time. You know when people ask if your friends jumped off a bridge, would you? Well, I think in this case our squad has no choice but to follow Evander. What great friends they are. We can now reach Karlach and avoid fighting the gnolls. We get Karlach to join us, but we must first take out the Paladins of Tyr before she'll commit to our cause. For this fight, you already know I'm going to be a scumbag. We head to the roof and send Astarion in to get some early stealth attacks. Our enemies will then follow us onto the roof where we can do my favourite strategy. Take that, Anders. To ensure my victory, I also destroy the ladder. But it turns out he can just jump back up. Okay, Anders, you're gonna regret downing Evander. For some reason on the next turn he didn't just jump back up. It worked out for me though, as I had enough time to take care of the other enemy. When Anders returned, we were able to finish him off quite easily. We unlocked the Sword of Justice, which will be Evander's new best weapon. That was enough social interaction for one day, so we take a long rest. Just like me the night before a hot date, Evander can't sleep and instead goes for a walk. Mid-rumination, we are disturbed by a small fiend.
Skeleritus fell. Your loyal and ever-adoring butler.
Skeleritus will give us a cloak, and this cloak is a bit controversial. Upon defeating an enemy, the wearer turns invisible, so it's kind of magical in nature, but I decided that gear effects are not Evander himself using magic. The effect is placed upon him instead of him going out of his way to cast or ingest something. Does that make sense? Moving on, we meet up with the legend himself, Withers. This magical skeleton will allow us to reset our stats and we can build our team. Evander will be our battle master fighter. Astarion is our assassin rogue. Karlach is the berserker barbarian. Last but not least, Lae'zel is our open-hand monk. With the Warriors of Light assembled, we head back to the Grove to sort out the situation there. We go through Korga's belongings because who doesn't love snooping, and we discover a meeting place. Naturally, we head there straight away. We walk right into a trap. Man, Evander is just as oblivious as me. Our best course of action is to run away to prevent casualties. We can then pick off the enemies one by one. The woodwards are unable to attack us when we are positioned this way, so that makes the fight just that little bit easier. With that sorted, we go through the chest and obtain the sparkle hands, and we also find the incriminating evidence we need to overthrow Korga. We head back and expose her as the slithering snake that she is. This doesn't go well and we must fight.
I love democracy.
Korga's moonbeam is deadly, but she's not the brightest individual and jumps through it, which broke her concentration. Our squad focused on Korga as she's the biggest threat. In doing so, we retrieve the Broodmother's revenge necklace, which will be useful. We are then able to outnumber the remaining enemies. We inform Zevlor on what just happened, and he gives us yet another quest. We must take out the 3 goblin leaders. On our way there, I got distracted like usual and pick a fight with these 3 ogres. These chumps are no match for us now, and I take the headband of intellect to boost Evander's stats. Back on task, we get our minds penetrated by a mysterious force. We are shown 3 shadowy figures. I wonder who they might be. Luckily, this artifact I stole from Shadowheart when she was sleeping broke the trance. Too bad Evander has no clue what magic is and how to utilize it. In the goblin camp, we go to the trader first and purchase the gloves of archery, the returning pike, and the Swizy shoes. Inside the sanctum, we head to Volo and rescue him. Who else is going to share the story of our exploits?
I guarantee the story of your daring rescue of my person will live on for eons.
Now, it's not a video of mine without weird things happening, so Evander will now remove all his clothes for the next part.
Yes, this will do nicely. Sweet child, you bore the pain like a true believer. And on a personal note, thank you. That was positively divine.
Don't judge Evander's fetishes, alright? We did receive a buff for this that increases our attack and saving rolls when we're at low health, which will be very useful. When it comes to the man or the bear debate, of course you're gonna pick the bear. We save the bear and discover it is a druid named Halson. He informs us of our next destination, Moonrise Towers, and then we recruit him to our cause. For the first goblin leader, Minthara, we stealth attack with Astarion to gain an additional turn. This allows us to take out the minions easily. We ensure that non-lethal attacks is enabled, then knock out Minthara, as her role in the story does not end here. We do loot her body though and take the spider lyre and spider silk armor. In the next room we witness an absolute tragedy. Rest in peace, Smithy, the lads won't forget you. The next goblin leader is Draw Ragzlin. For this fight the high ground is the best approach. I ensure the war drum is destroyed early to prevent reinforcements entering the battle and ruining my day. We can then pick off all the weaker goblins with our barrage of arrow attacks.
I wanna taste the pain. I think I'm seeing all red. 2 bullets in the gun, 1 shot to the head. I need a blank space. 'Cause everything is a threat. But I never.
This just leaves Ragzlin himself, who is now up here with us. Just like that, my plan is in shambles. But luckily, Karlak carries the team in this fight and keeps Ragzlin at bay. Evander is able to climb back up to exact payback and we defeat him. Our reward is we get the gloves of the growling underdog and the spring step boots. For the remaining goblins, we break them up into smaller battles via Astarion stealth attacks. This eventually leaves us with just the priestess gut fight, where we keep our distance to pick off enemies. After our turn is complete, we shut the door to negate their attack. We repeat this until Gut breaks through. She's no match for the strength of our 4 warriors though. With her defeated, that concludes the Grove quest. Our next stop is to listen to our future wife Lae'zel and head to the creche. We meet up with another Githyanki named Voss. We lie and tell him nothing. That's probably for the best. I didn't bring my anti-dragonfire shield. Upon arriving at the mountain pass, the game warns us that we are too low level.
Just who the hell do you think I am?
That night, a man named Raphael makes an appearance at our camp. He teleports us away to a location known as the House of Hope. He reveals to us that he is in fact a Cambion, and he will be in touch with us later on.
What's better than a devil you don't know? A devil you do.
We arrive at the creche and head straight to the trader to get the gloves of dexterity for Lae'zel. Even that nice gift won't stop Lae'zel from achieving her purification, and she begins the process right away. Well, that was some purification, alright. On that note, we head deeper into the creche and meet up with Wargas. We hand him this artifact as it means nothing to Evander, and Queen Vlaakith appears. We were not gonna kneel, but when our boss lady Lae'zel tells us to, I guess we have no choice. We have been given the task to defeat the intruder inside the artifact. I mean, that doesn't sound too challenging.
I may have made a mistake trusting you. I told you to stay away from the Githyanki, but you just couldn't help yourself. Could you? You are not to be trusted.
We follow orders from our superiors and still get punished. What a world we live in. But this kind of problem solving is right up Evander's alley. Astarion sets us up nicely with a one-shot kill, and then Lae'zel takes care of another enemy. Evander, on the other hand, just tickles Wargas. This dude is too damn tanky. I try to stun him and that also fails. What's new? We can then take out the other two minions. So it's a 4v1 against Wargas. Surely we will win from here.
Time staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on. Time staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on.
It's now time for our great escape from the creche. While fighting our way out, we pick up the Soulbreaker Greatsword for Evander. The crew is then able to make it out of the creche with no casualties. Meanwhile, Gale has a quest of his own to obtain the blood of Lathander.
Just watch me die. See how I die. See Gale! No!
With no way to escape, Gale is the first death of the run. Such tragic news makes it hard for Evander to sleep. We witness a conflict between Shadowheart and Lae'zel. We have no choice but to choose a side. Of course we're going to choose our Gith baddie Lae'zel.
Conflict resolved.
Shadowheart! It can't be.
Sorry Shadowheart fans, she doesn't survive in this video either. We continue our journey by heading to the Zentrum hideout to pick up some gear. We get the Herald crossbow and the Titan string bow. This bow is really good for Evander as it uses his strength stat. Our gear collection takes us to the Underdark next. We buy the Caustic Band for additional acid damage, then set sail to the Grimforge. Once we arrive, we make our way over to the forge itself. You can manipulate this upcoming fight by fast traveling away after setting everything up. Once you're back at the high ground, you can shoot the lava valve to begin the battle. From up here, Grim cannot hit us at all as they are melee based. So we can just shoot endless arrows and be unharmed. Eventually Grim will summon some magma mephits, but we can deal with them quickly before they do too much damage to our crew.
No
Eventually we're able to take down Grim. For our efforts, we get a helmet that prevents critical hits, and then forge 2 sets of very strong adamantine armor. This completes the gear that we needed from this act. Act 2, The Cursed Family. We begin this act by showing off our musical abilities. I think Evander should just stick to using swords. Anyway, we meet up with our tour guide Karnas. They will lead us to Moonrise Towers. On our journey, we are confronted by some harpers.
Heretics! Villains in the dark!
These guys are no problem at all. We just sit back and let our new friends take care of them. Back on the road again, we eventually make our way to Moonrise Towers. Karnas informs us that they have something more important to do, and they scuttle away. We proceed inside and see a familiar face. Minthara is punished as she did not retrieve the artifact from us. I mean, she could have just asked nicely. Evander isn't the sharpest tool in the shed. She is sentenced to death, but we have more important things to take care of. We head upstairs and speak to Zarel, and she tells us about an artifact we need to retrieve. More importantly, we can obtain this moon lantern to travel in the shadows outside. I suppose we better go back and save Minthara now. Looks like those two won't question our strength now, will they? Minthara appreciates the effort we took to save her and agrees to join our team. That good deed was tiring, but being Mr. Social means that everyone wants to spend time with you, and Skeleritas is no exception.
I love you so dearly, Master.
He informs us that we will receive a prize if we slay the cleric Isabel. I do like a good prize. Consider it done. The night doesn't end there. Evander can never catch a break. This time, Lae'zel woke us up just to tell us how obsessed she is about us. Such a relatable experience. This happens to me all the time.
I ask myself, are you worthy? Sacrifice too. There is only one way for you to prove it.
I'm inspired by thirst.
Do it then.
I'm inspired by worth.
Make me
desire
yours.
your worst, so you can just hide while I work.
Prove
I'm tired you first. I'll write a second, third verse about the lies you go disperse. You never did shit, I know it hurts. But something deep inside won't let me quit. I swear that I'm tell me that I can't walk. That's what God you love something what I
wound me.
I don't want to die, but I was raised to never hit a lady, no matter what.
I am yours. Say the words.
The next day we head to the Last Light Inn. We meet up with Jaheira. She is also not very nice, but luckily this tiefling kid remembers my heroics from the Emerald Grove.
I pretty much trust him with my life.
I mean, who wouldn't? We head to the trader first to pick up the Cloak of Protection. Then we continue our mission by meeting the cleric Isabel. Now the time has come. The dark urge that lives deep within will succeed as you breathe your very last breath. Just like that, the shadow curse takes over and we lose Halsin.
Halsin! Halsin!
Surely it couldn't get any worse from here. Well, we did fail to convince Jaheira.
Liar. It was you who killed her.
But we have bigger fish to fry. The curse has taken over all the people living here. For my first turn, I need to protect us from the curse, so we re-equip the moon lantern. Jaheira is an ally in this fight, so I can't control her magic use. But I'm not complaining. We make some decent progress defeating a few enemies, but then disaster strikes. Jaheira is overwhelmed by enemy forces and is defeated.
Jaheira! I'll save you, I swear!
With no Jaheira, that also means we cannot recruit Minsk. To prevent further casualties, my plan was to retreat inside the inn. That way we could limit the ranged attacks hitting us and take them out in smaller groups. Astarion, Lae'zel, and Evander make it safely inside. but Karlach is not so lucky.
My friends are going to be all right. I can let go. I'm slipping. I can't hang on. What's happening?
No! Karlach!
With Karlach defeated, our remaining team is not looking too good. We retreat into the bedroom and shut the door. There's a time and place for everything, but not now. Evander is not a cuck. I send Evander out and he can make the enemies frightened, which prevents them from moving. This is perfect, as I can just close the door to negate their attacks. We can then make short work of them when it's our next turn. That was quite the disaster, but on the bright side, we pick up the Sword of Life-Stealing and the Mighty Cloth. What a night. Even Evander can't stop thinking about what just happened. We go for a walk and meet up with our buddy Sceleritas.
Oh, apologies for the tardiness, my festering liege. I was away, admiring her body.
He is quite the pervert, it seems, but no matter, he informs us it is time for our prize. This prize being the Slayer transformation, which would be great normally. However, Evander doesn't believe in magical transformations. What a waste of time.
And look at you! Now you're your perfect self again. But you should be hopeful for your bright future. You are going to kill again soon. Good night, sweet master.
It was time to now build our replacement party member. We go with Minthara and set her as a Gloomstalker Ranger. Hopefully she will survive. We continue our quest and make our way to the Temple of Shar. We head straight to Balthazar and learn the necessary plot points from him. After that, it is time to end his miserable life. We can lure all his minions with ranged attacks and take them out first. This makes the Balthazar fight simple, as it's a 4v1. So simple in fact, I didn't record it. It was then time to pick up all the gems that we need to access the lower level of the temple. For the final gem, I send Astarion in first, to put his deception skills to the test. We convince Yergir to slay all his friends, and then himself. With that taken care of, we can then get the last gem, and also the Hellfire Hand crossbow. We head to the Shadowfell, and after that bit of carry-on from Evander, we meet the Night Song. She wants us to free her, but I have a better idea.
This was the no-brainer. This was the banker. This was the one that couldn't fail. This was one that's never failed.
I have returned.
Damn it, she's immortal.
I will come for you when the time is right. When your sons are grown and your beard is long and wiry. That is when this immortal will visit you. That is when I will show you what it is to be afraid.
That's quite the threat. Maybe he deserved it. We make our way back to Moonrise and everyone is already defeated. How could this be? If you have seen any of my other videos, you already know I clear Moonrise Towers out earlier. This allows me to break up the big fight into smaller fights, which is a lot easier. With a simple walk to the top, we confront Ketheric. Now, remember this guy? Well, he is back. And for this battle, he is quite strong. But don't worry, I have a strategy. We also have Dame Evelyn to help us in this battle. Well, she didn't survive too long. Anyway, this strategy is to run away and exit through the door. Now, I didn't say it was a strategy I was proud of, but it's effective. We can attack the enemies for one turn and then escape again. We just repeat this process over and over until we eventually win.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Ketheric says we have only merely delayed the inevitable and flees. But little does he know, in the end, all characters get what they deserve. We enter the Mind Flayer colony. We make sure to rescue Zevlor, as he will be important later on. We also save Mizora so we can make sure Will lives. I mean, at this point I'm getting pretty desperate. Deeper in the colony we see the 3 shadowy figures from earlier. They are revealed to be Gortash, Orin, and Ketheric. They are using their nether stones to control an elder brain. Well, we don't care that much, so we decide to stealth kill Isabel before starting our battle with Ketheric. The main plan was to use our ranged attacks to take out the enemies, while Lae'zel goes after the Mind Flayer. She's able to stun it and deal a lot of damage. Unfortunately, we get charmed, but we can just use Evander to finish off the Mind Flayer. The rest of this phase was simple, and we just set ourselves up nicely for Merkel. For this phase, Lae'zel is very important. We need to deal damage quickly, as we cannot heal ourselves. Luckily, Lae'zel is able to tank a hit from Merkel, otherwise we would have been in real strife. Even Dame Evelyn put in a shift this battle. I swear normally she does nothing. I go for a cheeky stun, and you know my luck, it fails both times. It was at this point I decided to deploy the backpack. Inside it has some explosives that I have picked up on my travels. I didn't buy any extra explosives, as I realized I could do this after I killed all the traitors. Whoops. Now it was time for Evander to shine. He actually pulls off a miracle and disarms Merkel. This makes it a lot safer to be in melee distance. Now team, let's show Merkel what we are made of.
Impossible. I am forsaken.
And I am awakened. We retrieve our first nether stone from Ketheric's body. Who doesn't love a bit of grave robbing? Now, we can finally make our way to Baldur's Gate. Act 3, Sins of the Father. Our artifact teleports us inside to the astral plane. We notice a bit of conflict going on between a Mind Flayer and some Githyanki. The Mind Flayer states that they are an ally of ours. That's funny. I don't remember helping no Gake, but it turns out they were the dream visitor from earlier. You know, the one we ruthlessly stabbed? They must be pretty desperate, so I suppose we can team up, as I don't want any of my allies to die. Surprisingly, this battle went very smooth. Who knew Lae'zel is the strongest Githyanki around? We deal with them all and meet back up with the Mind Flayer. Lae'zel leads the interrogation on him. We discover that he has been using the power of Prince Orpheus, the true leader of the Githyanki, to protect us. Lae'zel is not impressed, but at this point, there's not much we can do. We make sure to pick up these boots on our way out to increase Lae'zel's unarmed damage. We arrive in Rivington and are greeted by a child. Turns out Evander and Lae'zel are just like me when it comes to annoying kids.
If get out is not clear enough for you, child, perhaps a flash of my weapon will get the message across.
With that dealt with, we head towards the city, where the guards confront us. Who do they think they are, trying to stop us? Prepare to meet your maker. Problem solved. Our next stop is Sharessa's Caress. We are here on an important business trip. We witness Voss speaking with Raphael. Turns out Raphael can provide us with a weapon capable of breaking Orpheus free. Naturally, Lae'zel is very interested, and as we are whipped, we must do what she says. To obtain the Orphic Hammer, we must deliver the crown of Karsus that is currently sitting on top of the Elder Brain to Raphael. Seems simple enough? Evander agrees to the deal. But little did he know, if he does not complete this contract, it will have dire consequences. One that would set in motion an eternity of anguish, not just for him, but for all of his family.
If you refuse to give me the crown, I collect your souls instead.
With the contract signed, we make our way downstairs to see Voss. We inform him that we will free Orpheus, and we will be rewarded for this with a silver sword. This will be Evander's best weapon for the rest of the story. We make our way to the fortress and head to the prison. We unlock the secret area by utilizing lightning arrows. With this pathway unlocked, it was time for Will to shine. He has been lurking in the background for some time now, but this is his true purpose. There are 4 trials to complete in here, and it turns out it is impossible without breaking this curse. On to plan B. We intentionally fail this trial, which initiates a battle with just a couple skeletons. But most importantly, it unlocks the door to the deeper area. Good luck, Will. You've got this.
Build until you finally see. Whoa, it's taking over. Damn, no closure, moving closer. No exposure, I just wanna be a loner. Will!
He never stood a chance, but his sacrifice won't be in vain. We head inside with our remaining crew and take out the enemies inside. With them all taken care of, we head deeper inside. Not to fight Ansor, don't be silly, but to pick up the Helm of Baldur. This helmet allows us to heal every turn, and also prevents us from being stunned, so it's a huge upgrade. We continue our gear collection by heading to Sorcerer's Sundries to pick up the Ring of Regeneration for more passive healing. Then we purchase a new bow for Astarion. Finally, he gets a damage upgrade. Our last gear upgrade takes us to the Devil's Fee. We persuade Helsik to give us the ritual components, and then we make our way upstairs. We go through her belongings and take the Mask of Soul Perception. Then we activate the gateway to the House of Hope. Once we are inside, we head straight to the archive and borrow the Amulet of Greater Health and the Gauntlets of Hill Giant Strength. I'll bring them back, I promise. Evander also notices his contract with Raphael. Is he having second thoughts? Only time will tell. With our squad now geared up, we meet Gortash. He provides some information regarding the Netherstones. He states that all 3 are required to control the Elder Brain. So he proposes that we work together to defeat Orin, and then we can rule the brain together. But Gortash is not aware of the dark urge that lives within Evander. The voice of Sceleritas echoes in his head.
You are the monster everyone claims you are.
We must defeat Gortash, and we will do it the best way possible. With our new gauntlets, we are strong enough to pick up Gortash, then we can just fast travel outside. What happens next is on Evander.
Triumph after triumph. You have excelled in base villainy. For he who fights with monsters should look to it that he himself becomes a monster.
Our journey for more power takes us to the sewers. Well, if it isn't that annoying kid again, does she really think we care about her? Turns out it was just an illusion from Orin, and she challenges us to a duel. But she is a
third-rate duelist with a fourth-rate deck.
To reach Orin safely, we transfer Evander's cloak to Lae'zel. We can then defeat the nearby traitor to activate its effect. This will allow us to be invisible for 2 turns. As a monk, Lae'zel can use the ability Step of the Wind to jump multiple times in 1 turn. This will allow us to travel quite a distance in 1 turn to keep the invisibility intact. Once we reach the waypoint on the other side, we can just teleport the rest of our squad to meet up with Lae'zel. We head to the temple entrance and meet our favourite man, Sceleritas. He unlocks the door for us and we can head inside to confront Orin. Looks like she has taken the kid hostage, not that we care. I mean, I didn't like the kid, but that might have been a bit too far.
The changeling stands no chance, fiendish one. Eviscerate her.
Think you can beat me? Not in a million years.
I'm back, you know that I never left. I got tracks and some music that you never get. I don't slack, don't lose when you're left again. I get to choose when I show up like a weapon. That sharp is many, but got hard. I'm ready to change scars to envy, to win large and plenty. I like to play fast, never change back. wanna get stuck with me. I think I've had enough with me. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots. We're not as tough. Don't wanna get stuck with me. I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots. We're not as tough as me. Don't wanna get stuck with me. I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots. We're not as tough as me.
Master, you are the chosen one.
With Orin defeated, we embrace the darkness that is within and accept the gift from Baal.
Well. Kakarot, you dog! You did it! You actually did it!
Now that we have the last Netherstone, we have all the pieces of the puzzle. We set sail for our final battle. Here is the final stats and gear for our team. Feel free to pause the video if you want to take a closer look. For the first section, we are ambushed by some intellect devourers. Now, the strategy I went with was for Evander to flee and jump across the gap. Doing so will stun everyone as the Elder Brain unleashes its attack. This gives us an advantage as we can now have some extra attacks. They did call in some reinforcements, so it was time for the rest of our crew to jump that gap. We could then deal with the intellect devourers really easily, as they would just approach using dash and waste a turn. Our ranged attacks are pretty strong, so we could deal with them all safely. As we reach the brine pool, the brain emerges from the water. As a group who are not using magic, you just know what's about to happen next. One attack is all it takes, and we are luckily rescued by the Mind Flayer from earlier. This Mind Flayer is known as the Emperor, and they state that we should give all 3 Netherstones to him, and they will help us out. But Lae'zel has a better idea. We will use our Orphic Hammer to rescue Orpheus.
If you're not with me, then you're my enemy.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes. I will do what I must.
You will try.
We free Orpheus, and he is not impressed by our actions throughout the story.
All that suffering, avoidable, were it not for the choices you made.
Well, Orpheus, there's going to be some more suffering for you, as you become a Mind Flayer. Alright, let's head to the upper city and deal with this brain once and for all. We meet up with Voss once more, and he pledges his allegiance. Turns out we did actually make some other friends as well. The people that are going to help us in this battle are Withers, Zevlor, and Saravok. Wait, what is he doing here? I guess Baal made him come. For the next battle, we're going to sneak past most of the enemies. If we jump down to the platform, we can take out the winged horrors without alerting everyone else in the courtyard. We can then continue to the higher ground and take out anyone who gets in our way. We can then sneak our way past to the High Hall undetected. Big Boss would be proud. The next section unfortunately requires us to be in combat, as we have to deal with the Nautiloid artillery fire from above. We subtly get past the door and show these guys a thing or 3. Evander gets knocked down and is well within the sights of artillery fire. Minthara goes for the save, but her limited movement means she is now in the firing line.
Not like this, Minthara!
We will never forget you, Minthara. The rest of the squad are able to make it to the brain, and we begin our climb. When we reach the top, we are confronted by the slipperiest of snakes, the Emperor. For this battle, our first move is to call in all our reinforcements. We get the Hellriders in to provide a distraction, and then call in some Dragonfire to deal serious damage. We then continue to rush up the left path towards the crown. Lae'zel had to backtrack as Evander was getting destroyed. The dream visitors were constantly commanding him to flee, which is so frustrating. But we can take care of that little problem and get back onto our main objective. Now we take a chance to make it all the way by defeating the nearby mind flayers. Orpheus can then activate the portal unharmed. Astarion and Lae'zel will protect the entrance while Evander heads in by himself. Sometimes love requires a little sacrifice.
Astarion! This can't be the end. By the gods, not Lae'zel!
With the hope of the world on Evander's shoulders, what will he do? Well, he is someone who likes to come prepared. Inside that backpack of his is just a little bit of fireworks. I wonder what would happen if they caught on fire.
Now I'm a little motivated.
With the brain defeated, Orpheus is going to use the nether stones to destroy the brain. Evander is conflicted. He has made so many promises to powerful people. But sometimes, not making a decision is actually a decision. Defeating the brain will allow the lives of his friends to not be in vain. But deep down, Evander knows he will be punished for this. We meet up with Orpheus and there is one last loose end to tie up. Thanks for your help, Orpheus. All alone, the only thing Evander had left was fading memories of better times.
When all this is over, will you stay with me? For good?
With the belief that his family was safe from the evil that hunted him, Evander gives up his own life to prevent that darkness from ever reaching them.
Till I let go, I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold, 'cause I can't move on till I let go.
I'm lost. Never in my life did I imagine I'd lose.
Things are never that easy. His sacrifice only marked the beginning of a darker tale. The challenges bestowed upon his family will live on until Evander can break the evil curse.
What awaiteth thee is a mystery, even to me. I cannot account for thee, adventurer, hero, friend. But I know thy story endeth not here. Death itself hath many byways, and thou might yet have a new and different role to play.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a like and subscribe to see more of my videos in the future. I'll see you all next time.